Thank you all for joining us tonight as the Sanctuary of Hope presents Mental Health Mondays. I am Sabrina Ware, the director of the Sanctuary of Hope, and I'm so grateful and thankful that you're here. If it's your first time joining us, I'm thanking you for joining us. And if you returned after last Monday, I welcome you again to our Mental Health Mondays. I'm so excited. We kicked off last week with Robin Hubbard, and she came to us and did an excellent job speaking of calm and connected. I just want to recap a little bit because she provided us with so many different tools for our toolbox that we're building. Remember, I told everyone I wanted you to look at these Mondays as a way of building a toolbox to help you with your daily mental health needs and maybe a family member, but we just want to provide those things to you that will be helpful to you. So Robin gave us some takeaways, which I had jotted down. She reminded us that we need a safe person.
Yes.
That we are valuable, not to believe a lie. And also, what I've been feasting on all week is God has hidden honey in a rock.
Nice.
Tonight, we're going to keep building and adding to that toolbox that Robin so graciously started. And we have with us LaKisha Byers.
Hello. Thank you.
She actually is a colleague of mine, but most of all, I've known her. She's been a good friend for over 10 years. And she's going to be speaking to us tonight on understanding how to manage anger in our communities. Now, before she gets started, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Her and I work together, so we have fun.
Yes, we do.
And I'm just happy to have her here today. So LaKisha Byers has her master's degree in clinical counseling. She was born in Canton, Ohio, and raised in Denver, Colorado. She moved to Nazareth, PA in 2005, where she graduated high school and went on to pursue a course of becoming an attorney. She completed an associate's degree in paralegal studies, then went on to complete her bachelor's degree in crime and justice. She then was set to take the law school admission test. However, during the time of her studying for the law school test, she had an epiphany that changed the course of her life forever.
Yes, it did.
She believed in her heart that God had called her to help people manage their lives. Since then, she helped countless people with over 20 plus years with their struggles. She also has helped in the mental health field. She has obtained her master's in professional counseling and is currently pursuing her licensure in the field. LaKisha says, I pose a triple threat in the community by having knowledge, experience, and faith to walk alongside them to help and impact their lives.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
So tonight, I'm going to just highlight a few of the things she's going to talk about. She's going to talk about understanding how to manage anger within our communities, knowing the signs of anger in others and yourself, learn how to cope when angry, disengage to protect yourself and others, and lastly, engage in positive self-talk. Wow, this is good. This is needed in a time like this.
Yes.
LaKisha.
Yes. Thank you, Sabrina. I really appreciate it. I am so glad that I had the opportunity to come down here and speak to our communities, just to speak to people. And I just want to thank Pastor Gary and Marilyn Hartman for this opportunity, just opening this beautiful, I just said life space, because this is a sanctuary of hope. Yes. And now we're bringing hope live to our community. So yes. I'm excited about that.
Thank you.
I'm so excited about that.
Thank you.
Sabrina, just understanding, anger and coping skills, they are vital. I think we just don't utilize them enough.
Yeah. I think, and even looking back to when we were younger, I know I do not ever recall, even in school, where someone came and told us, well, did you use your coping skills?
No.
The way we do today, even with our clients, one of the things that we look at is we ask, what are your coping skills and how you use them.
Exactly.
And during this pandemic,
Oh, yeah.
over the past year, I definitely see where there could have been a need or is a need for people to be able to manage certain aspects of their lives in terms of coping with various situations.
Absolutely.
So I guess for me, one of the questions that I would have, what does our community, why does our community need coping skills? What does that look like? Why?
You know what, Sabrina, that's a very good question. It's like, I don't need no coping skills. I hear people say, what is a coping skill? But let me just read a few articles to you if I can share. I'm just going to read this. An Ohio woman is charged with murder and assault after she allegedly killed her teenage son and hid his body in the bedroom for 2 months. The body of Dominic Allen, you can catch this on the news. It's actually printed, so I'm able to speak on it. The body of Dominic Allen, 19, was found in Cincinnati home of his mother and her husband. His biological father said, you all didn't just take away my child, you took away the gift that God gave me. So a mother, she didn't know how to cope with what was going on. So this was her way out.
Wow.
Let me share with you another article. In Milwaukee, a jury trial was cut short Wednesday, May 5th, when a Milwaukee man charged with killing his 5-year-old son over a piece of cheesecake. Wow. He pleaded guilty. Travis Stackhouse initially told officers his 5-year-old son was playing with another child upstairs when he fell down the stairs that afternoon of June 21st. But Stackhouse eventually admitted to punching his 5-year-old son in the stomach because the boy had eaten his cheesecake. It was Father's Day cheesecake. Stackhouse said he only wanted one piece of the cheesecake and was very upset that someone else ate it. After punching the boy in the stomach, Stackhouse said he also, with the backhand, we all know about that backhand, used the back of his hand to hit both sides of his 5-year-old son's face.
Wow. My God.
That's devastating.
Yes. Yes.
He didn't know how to cope with a cheesecake. Really?
Wow. Oh, my God.
Cheesecake. 5-year-olds. But this is just in our
Right,
communities
yes.
what they could benefit from. One last article, Sabrina. East Pennsboro Township. A Cumberland County man admitted to shooting his wife and his daughter in Pennsylvania, in a Pennsylvania home. The man was 78 years old. The police assessed the situation. They were actually there before, and they assessed the situation. Mm-hmm. And he admitted that he shot his wife, and it was because of his wife and his daughter because of an argument.
Wow. Wow. So the argument got that heated, where it escalated to that point where he took their lives.
Wow. He killed his daughter. His wife survived.
Okay. Wow.
Now, how does that affect him? He's 78. He's been charged, arraigned in homicidal charges. 78 years old. It just lets us know that these things are happening every day around us.
Right.
And we really need to know how to cope.
Yes.
A lot of people are not going to come into our offices. They're not going to come in, they don't have a mental health diagnosis. Mm-hmm. We may never see them.
Yes.
But we still need to put something out there for our communities to understand what they can do.
Yes. And that's why I love this platform that we have now. I mean, the social media platform where we can feed this way. Mm-hmm. We're able to feed in so many different diverse levels.
Yeah.
We can do it via Facebook, through YouTube. And for those who are able to come into offices, we do have counseling centers, therapists, pastors, where we can teach people what they need. I guess one of my questions would be, what are coping skills? What exactly are they?
Coping skills. This is a funny question because coping skill could be anything that helps you manage stress, anger, frustration. Anything that you're stressed about, you're frustrated about, a coping skill will look like music. A lot of our kids listen to music. A lot of our kids will go for a walk. A coping skill is something that helps you cope with that situation when it's happening. Another coping skill could be turn on your favorite show, watch a comedy show. Something that kind of takes you out of the moment. It kind of refocus you, and you can come back and handle it in a better, with a better situation or in a better way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So definitely, they're out there.
Right.
Just using them.
Right. And knowing how.
And knowing how to use them. Yes.
And at what point you get to where you need to take that moment and say, okay, I'm feeling a certain way now. I need something.
Yeah.
I need a tool. I
Yeah.
need to know what my go-to is. I guess that's the best thing.
Yeah, what your
to
go-to is.
say.
Yeah, because, when we're angry, we feel that impulse, we feel that pull, that emotion of anger. Bible says be angry, but sin not. What is that sin? That's maybe could be not even acknowledging the Father when you are angry. Maybe it's just like, okay, Father, I'm angry at this person right now. Taking it to Him first, and then He can bring that coping skill, that peace to rest upon you. That's another coping skill, Sabrina.
I love that, and I'm so glad you said that because I was about to go there. And again, when we're looking at communities, we're looking at the community at large. We're looking at our church communities, our families. It's okay to be angry,
Oh, absolutely.
but it's what you do with that anger.
Yep.
And you said that scripture, be angry and sin not. And that's where the line goes over, where people go over to that sin. What do they do when they're angry?
That's right. God didn't say punch your child. He didn't say grab the gun.
Right.
He didn't say murder this person. He didn't say go to their house and stalk them. God didn't say that.
Yeah.
What God is saying is just being angry. You can be angry. You can be angry. You can be frustrated. Those are emotions. You're allowed to have that. But it's what you do with that emotion.
Yeah.
If you're going to choose to be angry, don't call your best friend that get you hyped now. Don't call the hype girl, the hype boy. They be ready to roll with you. Let's not call them. That's not a coping skill.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, it's a coping skill, but that's not the way you want to cope.
Right. Yes. Yes. It's so funny because we have that, we don't need anyone to move the crowd
Right.
in that moment.
Right.
Be angry and sin not, and also let not the sun go down on your wrath.
Yes. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath. Take that moment, just wash it away. Say, Father, I'm giving this to you. I'm no longer going to harbor this in my heart because I don't want that bitterness that eats up at you. And if you release it that way, in other ways that you can do, besides prayer, some people, the prayer, it works for, let's be honest, they'll be praying all night long, but, you're just still emotional, irritated about it. And we have to be well emotionally too. So don't let the sun go down. Just leave it where it needs to be. And if you need to deal with it tomorrow, deal with it tomorrow. If it doesn't need your immediate attention where you got to call 911, let's see if we can get past this in a safe way.
Yeah. Well, who could benefit from coping skills? Like, is it only for a certain set of people, a certain age? Like, what does that
Only
look like?
12 and under. No, no, I should say 12 and older, because it's everybody. Even your 3-year-old could benefit from a coping skill. This 78-year-old man just lost his daughter, shot his wife. He could benefit from a coping skill. Anytime you have impulsive behaviors or anytime you just don't know how to cope, it's not gender oriented. It's not male, female. It's not culture oriented. It's our Asian community, our Latino community. All communities can benefit from coping skills, and we all need them. We all need them, Sabrina. We really do.
Yeah. So, at what point would we use one? Would we use the coping skill? What would that look like?
Oh, I like that question. I really like that question. Let's go with a scenario, Sabrina, right now.
All right, let's do a scenario.
Okay, so let's just say this is a good scenario. Everybody, be patient with me. So you're in this grocery store. You have your mask on, and you see someone that doesn't have a mask on, and you're really irritated at that person. What do you do? Do you walk up to that person, like, excuse me, you need to put your mask on? Okay, let's think about that. Would that cause that person to listen to you, or would that cause that person to be disrespectful to you because they chose not to put their mask on? So now here you may be trying to do a good citizen thing. Hey, did you forget to put your mask on? Put your mask on. And that person could be like, don't touch me. Don't tell me to put my mask on. I have rights. You can't do that. And then they come out you verbally aggressive and start cursing at you, and then look, we ready to fight. Like, you done disrespected me. I'm trying to do the right thing, and you done disrespected me in front of my kids, and and everybody's looking at me now. Then if you grew up where we grew up, that just you posture. But that's not the time to posture. Just look at the situation, and it's okay to be humble. You know what? God loves a humble heart. You rather for God to humble you.
Yes.
Just take a step back. You be like, you know what? Have a nice day.
Yeah. And I think depending on your personality, depending on what you've gone through, depending on what your day looked like, kind of dictates your responses.
Yes.
So I think when we talk about just using the skill of coping, being intentional
Yes.
daily
Yes.
to have something prepared already, that if this situation happens,
Yes.
how would I respond to it? Because we all have our triggers.
Yes, and we're gonna get that. We can go there now. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
We can, these notes are just notes, but
yeah.
you have to know your triggers. You have to know your level of like if you're impulsive, if you're emotional, if you do have anger issues, or you have to know what they are, and then label them. Like you can take the time right now and get a piece of paper out, label one trigger. It could be someone stepped on my toe, someone cuts me off. My sister, someone cuts her off in the road. She ready to do all types of things. That's a trigger. So, but what positive self-talk can we do during that time? That could be a coping skill. Okay, maybe they didn't see me. There's sometimes I mean people's blind spots. Sabrina, honestly, I didn't see them.
Right.
They gave me the bird and honking me out, and I'm like, yo, my bad. But instead of me, retaliating on them, I'ma choose. Because coping skills is a choice. It's choice driven. You know how the Bible says, you know what to do, but you just choose not to do it?
Right.
I'm going to choose. So label your triggers, write them down on a piece of paper, one or two, then put a coping skill next to it. And then let's go further, and we're going to talk about that planning.
Yeah, I like that. Because even as I think about when we are in homes and we're looking at different sequences of events, and I think just kind of going back in your mind saying, okay, this is the point where like the pot has boiled,
Yep.
the top is coming
The
off.
steam is coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And being aware of that is so important and is key to being able to take that step back.
Yes.
But wanting to do that
yes.
and being aware of what those triggers are, what angers you, like being aware of that self-awareness is just so crucial.
It is. Yes, because those triggers, I remember when we growing up, oh, don't talk about my mama. Oh, you
Yes.
better not say one word about my mama.
Yeah, we know. If you said something about
My
somebody's mama.
that was just like, but they didn't come out and say, did you use your coping skill?
Right.
No, because, in certain cultures, we feel we have to protect our image or defend ourselves. Yeah. So we have to utilize healthy coping skills for that. Not to say, and with our communities and with our gangs and with our affiliations, it's like, okay, we have to go this way. Well, what about saving people's lives and go this way? How can we do it peacefully? Can we do a peaceful protest?
Right.
Yeah.
But
that was really good, Sabrina, that you brought that out.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so what does it look like for someone who doesn't? We're talking about anger right now. We're talking about coping skills. We're talking about providing, how people can go to those to find the coping skill. I know you mentioned music. You mentioned calling someone. Are there any others that you can share with us?
Absolutely. So taking walks, taking breaks, and for the workaholic, taking a vacation, planning those vacations and actually going on those vacations. If you're impulsive, know you're impulsive. And sometimes it might not be a bad idea just to go down there and get an evaluation. I'm not saying that I'm for medication, but if that can help you think a little bit better and have a little clearer head and live a better life, it's okay. And that's just until you can be able to cope with what's happening. No one said it has to be for life. But you can do those things. Another coping skill, I don't recommend this coping skill. People like to chew gum as a coping skill. Your mouth gets a little hurt. Your dentist may not like that all the time. Chewing gum, that tension right there, that muscle release, going to the gym, exercising, those are all good coping skills that you could do. Going to a friend's house, watching a video, that's all good coping skills. The list can go on. It's what you like to do to cope within that moment. Not necessarily has to be something that I like to do. It's what you like to do. I mean, some people, I think of one of my, she likes, actually our coworker, she likes chickens.
Oh, right,
She
right.
brought a chicken.
Yes, yes,
Oh my
yes.
God,
Yeah.
but you know what? That's what she likes.
Yes.
And honestly, when she brought that chicken, that was a coping skill for me. Because
Right.
we deal with the public, we deal with people. And so
Mm-hmm.
when she brought that in, it was like amazing. So maybe
Yeah.
going to a farm, getting out, seeing things, go to the
Mm,
zoo, and if you can't do those type of big things, something you can do immediately, number one is pray.
yes. Mm,
You can pray.
mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, I'm going to be real honest. If you feel you're in imminent danger, it may not be time to use a coping skill. It may be time to call
Yes.
911,
Yes.
to protect yourself or your family.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
prayer, it does change things, and it helps people's lives as well.
Yeah. And something you were saying, and I always have to go back to it, something we highlighted when we did the symposium last year. The fact that it's okay to not be okay.
Recognizing that.
You know, and I think what happens is lots of times because of all the things that are required of us, whether male, female, some of us care for elderly adults, our parents, we have our children, just recognizing that I'm not okay
Yes.
and what is it that I need to do to be okay, to help me along the way, is definitely key. And I think one of the biggest things when we start looking at from a perspective, a Christian perspective, which both of us are,
Yes.
we're Christians, and the tools God has given us
Yeah.
from various perspectives.
Yeah.
We do have our pastors who cover us.
Yes.
And what beauty to have pastors that believe in mental health, believe in the fact that God has opened up various venues for his people to be
Yes.
able to walk into to help them
Yeah.
with their day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
And incorporating both is just amazing to have that piece of faith, knowing that
Oh,
God is able to,
yes.
and then walking into the office of a mental health therapist to be able to say, okay, I need help with my coping skills. How can we combine the two?
Yes. Yes.
But being intentional again and recognizing that you need help.
That you need help. And let's normalize it. We all need support.
Yes.
I need support.
Yes. I know.
We just need support.
Yes.
We all need a little bit of support. Just a little bit of someone that can say, you know what, that best friend, like that's your best friend. Like, you know what, do I got a temper? Do I, am I a little bit, going to that person you can trust.
Who's going to be honest
Be
with you?
honest with you. Yes. You don't want, I know, I think Kevin Hart, you don't want that yes man, that yes person always by you.
Yes,
You want
yes.
that person that's going to be honest with you. You're like, you're my best friend and I love you enough to tell you the truth. We need that support from one another. Just normalizing it. We all need support. Just recognize we need the support and getting the help that we need.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's okay to be not okay.
Yeah.
I would think you were not okay if you was always okay.
Yeah.
Think something's wrong with that. Let's think about that. But Sabrina, you also point out having that covering, having a church, having a pastor, having a group of a congregation of believers. If you don't have a church, please seek out a church. If you're looking to serve the Lord, please find your local church because there's so much unity and community. And then pastors, they do pray. The Bible said they labor over us with love. They're laboring, they're praying for your future, they're praying for your lives, your wife, your family, your marriage. They do a lot of laboring. They're
Yes. Yes.
they the GOAT. Greatest of all times, just Ebonics for that. Just put that
GOAT,
in.
greatest of all time.
Yes, the GOAT, the greatest
Yes.
of all times.
Yes. And I love that there is unity in community.
Yes.
And as I think about just in general, when we're looking at the community, we have the people who go to church who lives in the communities. However, not everyone in the communities go to church.
That's right.
But here at the center, we say we don't go to church, we are the church.
Yeah.
So us being the church and being able to feed
Yep.
into the lives
Yes.
is wonderful. And just looking at, I'm just thinking about those articles that you read, the anger level seems like it's skyrocketed. I mean,
0 to
Again, the
100.
transition over the past year between people being at home
Yes.
around each other more,
Yes.
children not being able to have that outlet
Yes.
as they were able to prior
Yeah,
to the
within the
pandemic.
schools,
Yes.
like all the pro-socials, the activities that they
Yes.
were in. And now a lot of families couldn't even go to work. Husbands were home with wives, and now they're like, oh, I never didn't really know this person. Now I know.
Yes.
Like, oh my goodness,
Yes.
what did I marry?
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
That's true.
There were so many different things that triggered different responses that typically people didn't have to deal with.
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking about, just from a clinical perspective, in your clinical opinion,
Okay.
do you see coping skills to be effective? How have you seen that played out? Why or why not?
Coping skills are only effective if you use them. Now, I will say that some coping skills don't work for certain groups of people. You know, some people taking that walk just make them even mad. Now they get to stew over everything that's going on, you know? And I think they can work if you practice at them. Once you get used to it, like, you know what, this is my go-to. This is my go-to. For example, Sabrina, I am mad today at my supervisor. I am mad today at the world. I am mad. All right. If you acknowledge that you'll be my go-to, would you be my go-to right now?
Okay.
Thank
You'll
you.
be a go-to.
You'll be my go-to right now.
Yes.
Thank you. I need a go-to. So I'm upset. I don't want to call you right now, but I know I should because you're my go-to. What I would like to do, this is your freshman talking, what I would like to do is go over there and just, eat like a bowl of ice cream and just soak it. That's what you would like to do. But being aware, we talk about self-awareness,
Yes.
what should you do? I'm going to call her. I'm like, Sabrina, I'm having a hard time. Can you walk me through this? Can you help me through this hard time? I need some support. I can't do this by myself. We were made for relationships. God created us to be in a relationship with Him, so therefore we're supposed to be in a relationship with one another. And if you don't go to church, and you're not in a community, you may have a close-knit family, that you can support one another. That's a relationship.
Yeah.
We should have healthy relationships. So you will be my go-to.
Right. And then when you come to me being able to talk you off of that cliff,
Yes.
recognizing and walking along beside you.
Yes.
And that is, I think, one of the most crucial things, knowing you and what your triggers are and knowing what I can say to bring you down.
Yes.
And acknowledging your feelings, which I think sometimes people don't do that.
No, validating people's feelings. Yes. Let's practice real quick, Bree.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, Bree, let me tell you what happened. No, actually, Bree.
Yeah.
I got this pair of shoes in the mail, the wrong pair of shoes. I spent $300 for them. They came across from Tokyo, China, and I got the wrong shoes. Now, I'm very upset. What should I do?
Okay, well, just at this point, it's nothing you really can do right away other than, you got to send them back. They're going to take a long time. Yeah. So guess what?
What?
When did you need to wear the shoes?
I had an event tomorrow night.
Okay, tomorrow night?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see the outfit.
Okay. It's red.
Okay. Me and you, we can go to DSW. They got some nice shoes there. I got a coupon.
Oh, thank you. That's it.
I have a $5 coupon I'm willing to give to you.
Thank you.
What can we do now in the moment?
In the moment. That's
to help
right.
you get to where you need to be.
Right.
Because some things can't be resolved right now.
That's right. That's right.
And it's being able to have that person, what can I do for you now?
Yes.
To help you right now.
Yep.
To get you through that. I'm not going to validate their mistake because it's only going to make you more upset.
Exactly. Yeah. You can preach on that one.
Yes.
It's so quick, but it's easy. Oh, you should have did this or you should have did this. I don't need that right now. What I need is to be like, you know what? I understand. You're upset. Let me have your back. Yeah. What color's the dress? Let's go solve it together.
Yes.
And for our men, our men could be a little macho. I don't need nobody.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody tell me what to do. But you know what? If we're made for relationships, we do need that. You know what? The men of valor, the Bible talks about the men of valor. There's strength in men. Oh, there is
Yes.
some strength in some
Yes.
men.
Yes.
There's so much support. They can teach, lead,
Right.
So even our men, they need coping skills
Yes.
too. You're not too big,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Absolutely. And I think it kind of goes back to because the role that men play um, in the lives of their family,
Yeah,
that they have to be that strength,
yeah,
that it's hard to,
yeah,
which again, I think just looking at a whole of what community unity and just bringing about that awareness for those people who don't want to go into a counseling
yeah.
session or go see a therapist or who doesn't go to church, just being able to still feed into their lives. And
Yes.
peradventure, they'll step by step take steps towards getting the help that's needed.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just take a moment right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody, just think about a person that could be a safety person and who you can be a safety person for. Let's take a moment. Let's think about the safety person that you're choosing to. If you choose your cousin, okay. Now, is that cousin, can they help you through hard times? Can they support you? Because all my friends, I know how I can support them. I know who to call to support me. So think about a safety person right now. Let's take a moment. Okay, you got them? You got a safety person,
Yeah,
Bree?
sure do.
I hope you didn't choose me because, I'll be wilding out.
Yes. I have a safe person.
Okay.
A safety person who I'm fortunate enough to have several.
Okay.
On the same token, I am that strong person. So
Okay.
there are times where I choose to not go to those people.
Oh.
So that's why I'm saying, as you're talking, it's being intentional and being able to be vulnerable enough
Yeah.
to give that person because, certain circumstances and situations make us not want to. And I just think, again, at large, that's what people struggle with.
Okay. Yeah.
Being vulnerable
Being
to say
vulnerable.
that,
Yeah. To
I
actually
need help.
express yourself and need
Yeah.
help. That's why we're normalizing. That's
Right.
what you just said a minute ago. Normalizing. Like, it's okay to need help. But you know what? I think there are certain communities, they are too, we're not only say they're too strong because they're built that way. They're built to be strong because of whatever experience they went through, circumstances, they're built that way. That's how they're structured. But at the same time, as you are helping others, you also need help too.
Yeah.
Having that self-awareness and realizing, I can't do this on my own. I maybe need an ear or someone to talk to. And that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay. Because what you want to plan for safety, you want to stabilize your thoughts. So cognitive behavioral therapy, we stabilize thoughts. Because your thoughts can lead to your feelings feelings can lead to your action and those behaviors.
Oh, say that again. I love that.
Stabilizing your thoughts. Your thoughts can lead to your feelings, and your feelings can lead to your actions and behaviors. And that's how you get that response. We want a favorable response for our families, for our communities.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yeah, and it's like your mind, your mind being rejuvenated, your mind being renewed. And I have to go back to scripture, and it's my foundation, folks. That is my foundation.
Let's go.
Our minds being renewed.
Yes, renew your mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Renew your mind daily on the Word of God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meditation.
And God, the Word of God says He'll keep us in perfect peace.
Yep.
With our minds stayed on Him. And there are times when I'm angry or when I'm upset or I noticed, and I did a research paper on this for grad school, and it talked about music. How when you're upset and you're angry, if you listen to a certain music, it's going to only promote more anger.
Okay, yes.
So music has it plays a
mood
part.
shift you, yes. It shifts
in
your mood. Yes.
And I've developed where music is my coping.
Okay.
I will listen to gospel. I'll listen to my old school music, like happy music, and it puts me in a better space. But it took me time to recognize that because when I was down, I'm like listening to sad music, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm feeling worse.
Oh my God. Like, did leave me, or something like that. No, right. You'll put yourself in a better mentally, better state.
Yes, and just having that go-to, whether, like you said, it could be reading something, but if you continue to focus on that thing that brings about anger, and you're not dealing with it, then that's how things escalate. That's how you have those articles that you just read. That's how you have
Yes.
people not being able to handle and deal with people they love.
Yeah.
So if you have such traumatic events that happen towards people they love, the world, and people they don't know, can you
Yeah.
imagine, the unsafe environment? So it's good just to be able to let you all know what it looks like, and what anger looks like, and what learning how to cope and having those skills that's needed is just crucial.
Yeah. And you think about our anger, also good when we talked about triggers. When you listen to your triggers, write down what leads up to your triggers. Let's self-awareness check. Do you clench your fist? Do you grind your teeth? Do you start to stomp? Are those going to be notable triggers for someone that they can see? Oh, someone's in a bad mood. Let's just pull the kids back. Daddy's not happy or mommy's had a bad day. We can actually recognize other people's triggers, or lead them leading up to those triggers. Or I'm sorry, not triggers, but recognize those moments where people are leading up to being frustrated or angry, and then we can take a step back. I would not approach anybody, a police officer. He on the street, he's trying to handle something. I'm not going to approach him. I can tell he's trying to take care of some business. So I'm recognizing people's body language and their cues to let me know what I need to do. So those are also ways to protect yourself within our communities, recognizing those triggers in yourself and within other people's.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. It's so true. It's just so many, we can talk about countless situations and scenarios daily when you look at the news. I remember growing up, they used to have, I think it was 60 seconds of good news, but the rest of the news was
Really?
not so good news,
Oh,
minus the weather,
oh.
depending on.
They
But
don't tell
yeah,
the truth all the time, do I?
so it's just recognizing where you are, what you need, and knowing that there is help out there for everyone.
Yes.
There is help for you, regardless to your age. Our agency, we started age 11. That's our youngest
Yeah.
client.
Yeah. 11,
But
12.
however, there are many facilities, residential facilities, where you have children age 4 and 5.
Yeah, they have age 4 and 5 that do, and they need the support too. We always, we want to grow up. We don't want our kids to be, a term we use was picked on or punked, or bullied. We definitely want to teach our kids to stand up for themselves, but teaching them, the proper way, the healthy way to do it, assert themselves, helps them grow into assertive adults,
Yes,
that they'll be
yes.
good citizens to our community.
Right.
And also to moms, I'm just going to speak to our moms group right now. If that child is crying, that son of yours, they just not listening today. Use a coping skill. It's okay. Like, call your sister, call your cousin. You know what? I just need an hour to myself. Just take in a movie. That's another, we don't think
Yes.
about that time. That child is crying, or your husband, he does come home, your boyfriend, and they're not being, kind, like, what? I need a girl day,
Right,
or I need a
yes.
man day.
Yeah.
Communicating that this is what you need, normalizing it's okay to be not okay,
Yes.
and seeking the support that you need.
Yeah.
That's
And one of the things, and I just want to add, because I'm going to piggyback off of something Robin said that's connected with you, even play.
Yeah.
Like, be silly.
Oh,
That's
she
what
taught
she
me
said.
a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
She said 2 minutes to give my son attention to play, lets him assert him, gives him reassurance that he's important. So I start timing myself to play with my son to make sure I give him 2 minutes, because I want to
Yes.
make sure, play is
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Oh, I like games too.
Yes.
I like card games, board games.
Yes, yes.
That's my coping skills.
Right.
Give me a deck of cards, I'll calm down in a minute.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's being intentional. And that's one of the things that I definitely think is key, is I think about what you provided to us tonight relative to anger and coping skills, managing anger, what it looks like, how to move forward, how to not escalate
Yes, yes. You could escalate
to
your
a
own self.
point,
Yes, yes.
where you become a danger to yourself and to others.
Yeah. And when you say to others, if you are angry and you know you're angry, I recommend you not to get behind a wheel vehicle.
Yes.
If you are angry, you're allowed to be angry. It's just making a good choice to walk outside, call a friend to meet you at the corner. Let them pick you up and bring you home, or bring you to their house. Don't get behind the wheel of a vehicle. Because, you're crying, you're upset, females, women, men, all of us. Let's just be mindful of that as well.
Yes. Yes. Well, is there anything else you want to give us,
Uh,
Keisha, before we give our audience their evening?
I guess we'll just kind of wrap this up. Just be mindful, actually do a safety plan. Do a safety
I
plan
like
for
that.
yourself.
I like that.
Take the moment, tonight, this week, do a safety plan, right? Who your person's going to be,
Yeah.
what you plan on doing. Like, what gets you upset. What are you going to do with that? Or, when you see someone else gets upset, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to be the person that they can support, or are you going to be the supporting the person?
Right.
So just kind of understanding your own safety plan and what you need to do for your own self-care.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and that safety plan should include your safe person, a backup person.
Yeah.
What it is that you would need from them. Like I love the scenario we did. You call me and I'm coming with solutions.
Yes.
Do you want a person to solve it? Do you want a person who's going to listen?
Yeah.
Just map out what exactly it is that you want from them. And it can be simple. My safety plan. And I suggest, even using a index card.
Yeah.
My safety plan. You can put your safe person, what I would like them to do, and what you would like to see, and make a copy of it, take a picture of it, send it to that person.
Yes.
And again, being intentional on understanding how important it is to not escalate yourself to a point where you danger yourself, others, that you put yourself in a position where you won't be able to function. And also just knowing that there is help out there. There's help out here for you. There's a venue for everyone, every situation, no matter what it is.
And if you have any comments, I believe there's going to be another Q&A towards the end of the month.
Yes. If you have any questions regarding anger management, regarding the topic that LaKisha Byers so graciously blessed us with tonight, you can send a message through the inbox of the Sanctuary of Hope. And we will get back to you. We're going to just do a whole Q&A. What are any questions that may come up? Resources, we're going to have that listed as well, because we're here for you. And our heart's desire is to be able to feed into the community with the mental health needs and providing those tools, spiritual, conventional, just knowing that there's no shame zone.
Shame.
No
judgment. No judgment.
And we want to walk along beside you
Yes.
In this journey of mental health.
Yes.
So, LaKisha,
Yes.
I'm so grateful, and I thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Sabrina. I really appreciate
for feeding
it.
us and for providing a tool. And I'd like to thank you all for being with us here this evening. And we will meet you back here next week, Monday, for our third Mental Health Mondays. God bless you all, and thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sabrina.
You're
This was really nice.